guys, and welcome back to the LFC transfer room. My name's Charlie, and today is my dream summer video for Liverpool's summer transfer window. So I'm going to start with the outs today. Um, I think there's a bit of a rebuild that needs to go on this summer. There's a lot of players that I think will leave and that I would personally let leave. So first off, I'm going to start with Adrian. No surprise here. Pretty sure it's basically done that Adrian won't be continuing with the team. Think he's going to be going back to Spain as he said that he would like to. Next is Minamino, who, as we're speaking, I'm pretty sure he will be joining a Premier League. Club Leeds have been interested in him in a long time. Southampton are still in for him. Fulham have also been reportedly interested, and Wolverhampton Wanderers too are looking to sign him, along with AS Monaco, that's according to reports today. Considering that we got him for £7 million back in 2020, and now the transfer fee is £17 million, it's absolute great business. I would have loved him to stay at Liverpool, but if you're getting that amount of money, I don't think you can turn it down. You know, he's been good for us this season, but this has really been his breakthrough season at Liverpool. Obviously scored 10 goals, was a massive part why we won the FA Cup and the EFL Cup in those early rounds. You know, getting goals when we were struggling to break down lower league teams. So, you know, he's been very good, but for 17 million, I don't think you can say no. Next is Nico Williams. I think he has to leave. You know what? I've got a player who I want to come in and who I think will be coming in, but I'll get to that later. But Nico Williams had a very impressive loan move with Fulham, helped them win the championship and get promoted to the Premier League. I would not be surprised at all if Fulham were to come in for him this summer and sign him. Obviously, he wants to play with Wales reaching the World Cup after beating Ukraine in the qualifiers. So, you know, with the World Cup being in December to this season, he's going to want first team football. He's not getting that at Liverpool. And I think he wants to move away for the sake of his international career. Fulham could come in, you know, he'd start for a lot of Premier League clubs. And for the £15 million that Liverpool are reportedly wanting to sign him for, then I think you let him go, you cash in. Next, Nat Phillips. It's so unfortunate that we've got four unbelievable centre-backs because Nat Phillips would make a great fourth centre-back. You know, he's great in the air, surprisingly great on the ball, quite agile for his size, and, you know, he was a massive part to helping us get Champions League last year. And, you know, if he was to wanting to stay fifth choice centre back, I would not be against that. But, you know, he played at Bournemouth, he impressed at Bournemouth. So I'd ship him off. I think he's a Premier League centre back quality. And for 15 million, he's homegrown. You know, a lot of Premier League clubs are going to be in for him this summer, and rightfully so. Wouldn't surprise me if Bournemouth try and get him again. But if I was, you know, a club like Brighton or even Southampton, you know, or Leeds would be a great club for him. Nat Phillips would be the perfect centre back, and I expect a lot of clubs to be interested in Nat Phillips this summer. Next one, Ben Davies. Bit of a pointless signing. Don't know why it ever happened, if I'm going to be honest. It seemed like the very rare panic buys that Liverpool have done. Don't know how much we're going to get for him, but I assume we'll be making a profit on him. So Ben Davies can see him joining a championship side, but he's definitely one we need to let go. Now, onto more of the first team players I'd let go. One that I think has to happen is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. He's not Liverpool quality. At the end of the season, James Milner was getting picked over him. You know, Harvey Elliott, even though he'd had a major injury, Curtis Jones. Honestly, Tyler Morton probably would have started over him if he was available and on the bench. So Ox has to leave. He's got 1 year left on his contract. I can see somebody like Newcastle coming in for him, West Ham, you know, bringing him in as a bench player, but a higher up bench player. I don't think he really starts for any of the top 10 teams, if I'm going to be honest. But I think despite he's only got 1 year left on his contract, I think Liverpool could probably get around 10 million for him, mainly due to the English homegrown connection that a lot of teams are struggling for. Finally, for the out, one that is going to annoy our very own Matty. I think Curtis Jones needs a loan. We saw how good it's been for Conor Gallagher, how good it's been for other players in the past. And I think you'd find a lot of mid-table sides interested in signing Curtis Jones this summer on a loan. He needs first team football, and if Liverpool are going to bring in a midfielder, like I think they will, then he's not going to be getting into the team as much. Maybe EFL, FA Cup, but if I was Curtis Jones, I'd rather be playing week in, week out. If you go to a championship side, then he's going to be playing every week. He's quality. We've seen just in this week how much the under 21 boss rates him. So I think Curtis Jones needs a loan move. If he was to stay, I wouldn't be that bothered, but I just don't see how he gets into the squad. And I do think Harvey Elliott is ahead of him. I think Curtis Jones, I think Jurgen Klopp was resting Harvey Elliott towards the end of the season not to take any unnecessary risks, and that's why Curtis Jones is playing ahead of him. But I can't see that next season, if I'm being honest. Into the fun part, I'm going to warn you, this is my dream transfer window. Obviously, maybe one or two of these might happen. They definitely won't happen all this summer, but it's a dream transfer window. So I'm going to get me hopes high and dream, as is in the title of the video. First one, Harry Kane. If Liverpool want a world-class striker, they need to go out and sign Harry Kane. Today, as I'm recording this, we're heavily linked with Darwin Núñez. I think he's a good prospect and a good player, but Harry Kane's just different gravy, man. He's Premier League proven, Champions League proven. He guarantees you 30 goals a season. In this Liverpool side, I think he guarantees you 50 goals a season, if I'm going to be honest. My only issue with him, can he stay fit? Not sure, but he's worth the risk. Do I think Daniel Levy will let him leave? Absolutely not. But if Liverpool want to compete with the signing of Erling Haaland, then Harry Kane is somebody that they have to go all out for, in my opinion. Now, one more realistic one, with Nico Williams set to leave, and we need a backup right back, as reports that Conor Bradley is going to be going on loan to a championship side. I think that it will happen regardless. Aberdeen's Calvin Ramsay. It's a great signing. He's 18. He's very highly rated in Scotland, very highly rated by the Aberdeen fans. And for the low price of, I think, 4 million that's being reported, it will happen and it has to happen. It's one that I think we will probably see by the end of this week or the beginning of next. Now, my next signing, one that I am convinced will happen in the future. If you join the streams, you'll know how much I rate this guy, and Liverpool need to break the bank for him. And I believe one day he will play for Liverpool. And I've got a sneaky suspicion that Liverpool are going to try and tempt Borussia Dortmund's hand to try and sell Jude Bellingham. After missing out on Aurelien Tchouameni, he's the perfect player. He can cover DM, he can play box to box, he can play as an 8, he can play as a 10. He's the perfect all-round midfielder. It's heavily reported and, theorized that he's a Liverpool fan himself. He said Steven Gerrard's his idol. It's the perfect signing. He's 18 years old. He can come in and be at this, in this Liverpool midfield for the next 10 years plus if he wanted to. And, 80 million for that, it sounds like a lot, but I think he makes the same impact as an Alisson or as a Virgil van Dijk does, and he's my perfect midfielder who I would sign. Okay, next is another midfielder who I think we do need. Now, if you're on the streams, I butcher pronunciations. This might be another one, but I would sign Borussia Mönchengladbach's Sadio Kone, a very promising young midfielder. He's a centre defensive midfielder, so a backup for Fabinho, which we need. We saw this season Fabinho was getting a bit overrun, a bit tired, and we need a backup midfielder. He can play a bit more advanced too. And there's been a few reports that Mönchengladbach would probably take around 30 to 40 million, and that's perfect. It's in Liverpool's price range. I'm adamant we need a midfielder this summer. If we break the bank for Núñez, we need a midfielder still, because it's a massive, massive issue. Jordan Henderson's declining right in front of our eyes, and apart from that, we don't have anybody. And I think he comes in and he does improve the midfield depth. Does he start? Who knows? But there's been a lot of top clubs linked with him, I'd personally go in for him. I think he's a very exciting prospect, French midfielder as well. So maybe he might be challenging Aurelien Tchouameni. Finally, a bit out the box. We've been linked with him in the past. He's an unbelievable talent, and I think next season he's going to break through and be considered one of the best wingers in the world. Bukayo Saka. He fixes the homegrown issue that we currently have. He's running down his contract at Arsenal. He still hasn't signed a new one. He's again reported to be a bit of a closet Liverpool fan. How much of that is known is it's not, but it's just a few rumors that have been going around. Jurgen Klopp has spoken about him highly. He's spoken about Jurgen Klopp. If Liverpool were to offer maybe 60, 70 million to Arsenal, I think they tried the hardest to get a new contract. But Bukayo Saka, he comes in on that right wing and he pressures Mohamed Salah too. We say to him, "Look, Mo, we can replace you, in the future." And the fact his age is Premier League proven. He's on the international stage already with England. So he would be my perfect right wing replacement, especially with Mo Salah refusing to sign a contract at the moment. Now, as I said, this is all a dream. It's a dream transfer window. So the likelihood of these happening are 1 in a million. So don't get your hopes up. This is just my dream transfer window. But again, I've been Charlie of the LFC Transfer Room with another edition of my dream summer. Make sure you do leave a like. Go and check out the other ones that have been published to see what all of our other regulars think of what their dream summers will be. So yeah, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn that bell notification on for more uploads. But I've been Charlie, and thank you very much.